Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV here today, and if you look in the background you see all these different RVs. And one thing you see across almost all the different brands and all the different builds,
scary slide outs.
And slide outs can give you a lot of room, they can increase a lot of function, but they come at extra weight, extra cost, extra upkeep. And specific shout out to Mr. William Schooley, who's probably the original what I call slide skeptic viewer of this channel, who he says, I prefer no slides, I like the ease, the simplicity, the peace of mind, the reduced weight, and the reduced cost. So, the Little Mermaid, when it came to thingamabobs, she had 20. But when it comes to no slide campers, today, I got a baker's dozen. First, we're gonna take a look at some couples models, then some bunkhouses, and then one made specifically for parking somewhere without slides. So we're gonna take a look at a bunch of different RVs, but only 2 or 3 minutes at a time to give you a quick look at something. And then if you want, dive into the video description where you can see a link to the full video tour that I've put together for you, as well as links to check pricing and availability in case you're curious. I've also chapter marked this video for you for easier navigation. And remember, chances are you're going to see several campers with a very similar layout. Because logically, when you only have so much space to work with and no slides to play with it, there's only so many ways you can put something together that makes a little bit of sense. Let's get going. Kicking us off today, Forest River's Vibe division has been doing some really cool things in the undercurrents. I think that they've been often overlooked in the industry, but if you talk to people that have actually looked into one and purchased one, they tend to be pretty happy with it overall. And they recently came out with a new no-slide little couples camper that I actually didn't even realize it was no slide when I first stepped into it because it felt so large inside, and that ain't no jive. You asked for it, I'm getting it for you today. Maybe one of the best no slide couples models I think I might have ever seen. Hello everybody, welcome to Bish's RV. My name is Josh the RV Nerd, and behind us is an RV that literally tricked me. And I mean that in the best way possible. At the time this video rolls out, I've got about 15 years of experience looking at campers. I'm basically a professional looker-at-her and talker-about-her of campers. Those are technical terms, that's my actual job description. And when I went through this one, it's like farmers, I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two, just off pure experience. And I went through, I said, okay, it's a Murphy bed, all right, small camper, okay, nice bathroom, okay, nice pantry. And then I went, ooh, you've got this nice little breakfast bar, dining bar, right off the campsite of the RV with a Euro window to get sweet airflow, but at the same time, it actually has a pull-down bug screen, which a lot of the Euro-style windows do not. So I'm like, okay, this is a really good camper. I looked through it a little further, like I said, really nice pantry space, kind of caught me off guard in a pleasant way. Also, it's a little bit taller inside, so I can stand in the shower. I like how the Murphy sofa has those kick-out recliners. When the bed's down, you have headboard power pockets. You've got wide stance stability axles for easy towing on an RV that's not, I don't even know if it's 24 feet long. It's right on that cusp. It's lightweight, but it has a really good cargo capacity, so you can actually tow small and camp large in this little thing. And that's the thing that threw me off. I walked out of the camper, and it had such a big, spacious feel, it tricked me. The rep was standing right there, and he looked at me and said, not too bad for a no-slide camper, huh? And I stopped dead in my tracks with 1 foot in the air, getting ready to walk out of the camper. I turned around, and I took a second look at this thing, and I went, oh my gosh, this is a no-slide camper. It felt so big inside that even with my experience, it made me think it had a slide out. It has slide out, comfort, and space in a no slide, lighter weight, easier to maintain kind of model. There's no road mode. It's just good to go all the time. There's a lot of really, really good things going on with this one. They've standardized a little bit better solar package than they had, heated belly, tank heaters, bigger air conditioner, and a lot of other things. Vibe is a brand that has kind of come out of nowhere that I think might be worth putting on your radar. And although I didn't specifically preface the list this way, I'm generally excluding no-slide little travel trailer toy haulers just because if we're looking at a couples model or a bunkhouse, it feels like something different potentially, but I do want to mention the Ember 240 TKR because I think that it's this weird, crazy crossover thing that it could be used as just a couples model with a patio. And I think that it could be used as a bunkhouse, but I think it could also be an office. Like, it strikes me almost more as a non-toy hauler than a toy hauler in my estimation. I could be wrong, but I'm making the list, I'm making the rules, I'm putting it on here.
Ladies and gentlemen, family members of the RV Nerd Herd, I gotta say, hats off to you and hairline off to you. This might be the ultimate Franken camper, and it was all put together based on your feedback. Wait till you see this sucker. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd with Bish's RV down here with the newest, latest, and I might say greatest from Ember. This new 240 Overland tandem axle toy hauler bunkhouse, not a bunkhouse, Franken camper that they put together here. It is wild, guys. Wait till you go through this thing. They put this together based on, they took all the comments, all the feedback that you've been leaving on their videos for a couple years now, since Ember video #1 that we put out here, and they slapped this together. Since day one, people have said, why don't they make a toy hauler? They need to make a toy hauler. Well, they did, and they didn't. First of all, let's just look at this. It's one of the best rear patio functions I think I've ever seen on any RV, not just travel trailer, but fifth wheel, anything, with this cool little, pop-up tent screen wall. So you actually have some really good kind of, shaded patio coverage right there. They even slapped on that side cargo door on this like it was a conventional bunkhouse, which obviously it's not. They didn't have to do stuff like that, but they figured, hey, why not? Anything that we can possibly do on this thing, we're going to. The bunks are completely removable, and we're actually looking at a prototype version of this. That's the technical term for it if you're keeping track of the nerdisms. But this thing will have the potential of having 4 individual single bunks, or a desk, or a combination of bunks and desk, or a campsite dining bar, or none of that. And you can just straight load cargo up into this thing. And up in the front of it, all the people have said, why don't they make a twin bed? Why don't they make a king bed? They decided to make a twin to king-vertible bed system with a sliding wardrobe tower, so you actually have some kind of hanging storage, which I don't usually see done with twin beds. This being an Overland, we still have that all-composite and aluminum body structure, the 4-wheel independent Kurt trailing arm suspension system with the really heavy-duty Wrangler tires, so if you want to get off the beaten path, if the sidewalls of the tires get grabbed by something, going down, you're not going to have to worry about tires blowing out on you. TPMS standard, you have the Super Solar package available on these, 0 to 100 degree rated, tested, proven, and a partridge in a pear tree. It might be the single most flex function convertible camper that maybe has ever been conceived. I need to hear what you think about this.
But if we go back a couple years, it was actually a Freedom Express model that initially prompted me to make this list. It was called a 204 RD, but in today's modern era, it's called a 20 SE. And what's kind of cool about this one, it's simple, easy, no slides, but it's still extra tall and has a true queen bed, which almost nothing else in this list has.
Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here at Bish's RV with the only 4,100 pound Freedom Express 20 SE. And this is a camper, if I start listing qualities like an extra tall ceiling, carpetless, and a true queen bed, there are a lot, those are desirable qualities, certainly, but there's a lot of other campers that do that. Here's the thing that kind of makes this one special. It's a no slide model, and getting those features in something with no slide, that is a bit of a tall order, and that is not an intentional pun as related to the taller ceiling in this, but I will take it. And that's really what kind of makes this one here stand out to me and special. It still has a full, true, big pass-through up front. It doesn't have the small door on one side, the big door on the other. It's got surprising storage for a no-slide model as well, and really with some very classic features like just a giant closet right when you walk in the door. That is old school coachman camping that you just don't find everywhere in the marketplace today, For no bigger than it is, I think it's got some very respectable awning space, and it still maintains a heated and enclosed belly. It's also still solar prepped. That's the thing, there's so many of the bigger Freedom Express features wrapped up into the smaller package. I think it's an easily overlooked, really strong member of their series. Now, it doesn't do things like the full nose cap and the windshield of the bigger, heavier, more expensive Freedom Expresses, but that's also some of the reason that it's lighter and less expensive, and no windshield in the nose means you don't have a magnifying glass cooking you like a bug on the sidewalk when you were a kid. You ever do that? Just me? I don't know. Anyway, I like to cook my food before I eat it. Whatever. Neither here nor there. It's a fun camper. It's not going to be for everybody, but what RV is? They do some great features in this one, though, and I'd love to hear what you think about it.
And given its popularity, it's really hard not to include a J-Flight 212 QB in this list.
Well, you might notice I'm not doing that this year. That's because the 212 QB now has a new name. Hey everybody, welcome to Bish's RV. My name is Josh and this is our Coldwater, Michigan RV Superstore. Although we have these parked at most of our stores, this is the new 210 J-Flight. Previously basically known as the 212. This is the newer, lighter, less expensive version of that camper. Now, it is slightly different in a couple little areas, but I think as we go through this video, what you're going to see is everything that really matters is still here. Like we've still got that 2+ 3 year warranty. We've still got the plywood construction that you expect out of Jayco's. They still have a good sized power awning on this. A lot of RV brands, when they start making something a little more budget friendly, you start getting these like ridiculous 8-10 foot awnings like they shouldn't have even bothered putting the money into it. You still have that walk-on roof. They do go to a telescopic ladder mount on this one, so it is something where you may need to pick up your own ladder if that's something you're interested in doing, but some people prefer a removable ladder versus a fixed one. You've got the double propane tanks up front with the auto changeover regulator and the power tongue jack to kind of do the heavy lifting for you so you don't have to get tennis elbow hooking up your hitch if you do it properly anyway. What's cool about this one, it is simple, easy, no slides, and it's shockingly light for its size. The maximum GVW of this with fully loaded cargo and everything tops out at 5,500 pounds. That is crazy light for something this size, and it opens it up to the to lighter duty tow vehicles that normally wouldn't be able to handle something like this. Not everybody has a Bigfoot Gravedigger monster truck, you know, so sometimes it's kind of nice to have that opportunity. But what's also cool about it, it gives us both a sofa and a dinette and some great window coverage in the back. It's also a little bit taller, which is nice in the shower, and has a bunch of other fun little features like a factory standard solar package now, which is chef's kiss. It's not perfect though. We're going to touch on the good and the bad. If you appreciate that approach, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's get going. But what's really cool is that J-Flight we just looked at, that style of floor plan is so popular that it's kind of become a Burger King camper where you can kind of get it your way. And the Cherokee Grey Wolf Division's 20 RDSE takes a little bit of a different spin on it. Instead of doing split seating in the back, they just give you one giant mega lounge. What's really cool about this one is if what you're looking for is that like buddy hunting camp kind of situation with that no slide simplicity, this is a really weird model that somehow threads a needle and fits into a couple weird places that works. Oh, that sounds like I'm talking about something else, doesn't it? Fitting weird things, and well, HR is going to have to call me now. Oops. If you're a no-slide skeptic, if you want an RV with no slides for the peace of mind and simplicity, stay tuned. I got a very popular couples model here I think you're going to like. Hey everybody, Josh RV Nerd of Bish's RV here with the 20 RDSE Grey Wolf. She is back again for another year, and overall, looks pretty darn similar to how she looked last year, but maybe you didn't see it last year. Maybe you're curious. There are a couple little updates and upgrades that have gone through it right here. If you're not familiar with it, this is a simple, easy, no-slide couples model. But what's really cool about it is, although it's not like, there's not like a hard wall and a door enclosing the front bedroom, it still very much feels private enough for most people. And if you are going to have a guest, as opposed to like the Jayco version of this that has like a small dinette and a small sofa, this just has one big mega dinette basically across the entire rear wall of this sucker that you could pop the table out, you could use it like a lounge, or you could put the table in, use it like a dinette, or you could fold it down, and now you have a guest sleeper that could even be adult size. So what if you're like a single parent and sometimes you run around and most of the time it's just you, but sometimes you want to bring your kid with you? Well, you know, there's just not a lot of campers that can work for that. Or if you're doing buddy hunting camping or something like that, or if it's just two of you and sometimes you have a grandkid or you got a big dog or something like that. This is one little RV with no slides that is lightweight, that is easy to move around and do all that. Now what's interesting is they went with a heavier GVW on this versus most other brands. So what that means is that technically you're going to need a little bit heavier truck to be able to legally handle it. But the thing is, this RV has over like 3,000 pounds, give or take, of cargo carrying capacity, which is vastly superior to what I see out of most little trailers like this. Short, small, light, tandem axle, easy towing.
There's a lot of good features all wrapped up into this thing, but it's also got a couple hitches in its giddy up. I want to show you the good with maybe the not so good. I don't know how you're going to feel about them, but I'm going to point them out. And if you appreciate that fair approach, hit that subscribe button, and let's roll. Last year, though, Winnebago came out with this little thing called a 1720. And what's kind of cool about this, it's about the smallest tandem axle, no slide couples camper I think I've ever seen. And when it comes to tandem axle RVs, finding one with this easy towing of a GVW to be like mid-size pickup comfortable, that's a rare find, especially with the better suspension you have on these. If you're looking for a lightweight trailer for towing and going, that's one to look at right there. Awesome solo floor plan, by the way. Hey RVers, Josh the RV Nerd here with Bish's RV with another first look at a new floor plan for Winnebago, the 1720. They've had a number of these no slide, no bunk, small campers for like a solo or a couple or like one person and a dog or like something like that. You get the idea. Cat campers, iguanas, parakeets, whatever thing you happen to have with you, even if it's a significant other. They're usually the most difficult kind of animal to raise. Have you ever noticed that? At least that's how my wife describes me, and I don't even take offense to that. I think that's fair. This thing comes in, it is small, it is tight, it's very cozy, you could say, but it's a tandem axle, easy towing narrow body camper on torsion axles and Goodyear Wrangler tires, so something with awesome rubber meets the road and a great suspension for towing and going that's not wider than like a mid-size tow package pickup and has a GVW maximum weight of only 5,000 pounds with tandem axles. That opens us up to the capacity to be towed by so many vehicles that normally do not have a tandem axle option out there. So if you're one of those people like, man, I really like those small campers, but they're always on a single axle and I'm worried about a tire blowout and how that may affect my safety, this is the workaround. This is the answer right here. And what's nice is you're not really sacrificing because Winnebago is packing a lot of premium punch into this small package right here. 10 pounds of sugar in a 5-pound sack. Like we've got double Asdale walls, 200 watts of factory solar. The underbelly is enclosed. It is forced air heated, radiant barrier, holding tank heaters. All the things they do on their big RVs, they've got all wrapped up into one small little package on here. But that's the thing. This RV's greatest asset is its greatest liability. You hear me say that all the time. Its small stature is going to possibly present some make or break factors like smaller bed, east-west bed, tight bathroom quarters. But again, if what you're looking for is towability and something that's gonna hold up and last for long-term road use, this is it, baby. This one works. Now, jumping over from couples camping to the world of family bunkhouse camping, again, you're gonna run into the same couple floor plans over and over because there's only a couple ways to make something make sense with no slides, especially because once you start getting larger, you're running into slides. You know, they all tend to be like under 30 foot, usually a chunk below that. And over this last year, we introduced a new contender into the field that has instantly become very, very popular, and that's our Go Play series. It's exclusive to us here at Bish's RV. It's not that these are crazy original floor plans, they just have what you're getting versus what you're spending has been very popular. And starting with the smallest member of the family here in tandem axles, the 20MB, it packs a lot of punch into a small frame. If you're looking for small, simple, light, easy, no slides, and tandem axles for your family to get camping, stay tuned. I got one for you. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd with Bish's RV here with our 20MB Go Play. This comes in basically like if you've seen our 26BH, and you're like, man, I wish it was like several feet shorter and it was a little bit lighter. Or if you've seen something like our 19 or our 180BH, you're like, man, I really wish it had tandem axles. That's where this one comes in right here. It's that kind of missing link to sort of, you know, bridge the gap between the two. What's cool about this is that it is not super long. It's not super heavy. We've done a ton of work to keep the price in check on these. But what's great is it provides you like the benefits of a 32-foot floor plan in something that is multiple feet shorter due to the fact that your front sofa is, you know, it Murphyizes basically. It's hiding a Murphy bed in the front end of this thing. So you still have a front bed, but you still have the benefits of like basically a slide out living space or essentially the same living room as the 26BH in something that is much, much shorter. Now, naturally, the offset is that you have to choose the sofa or the bed, and it's not exactly walk around because it does come right up to the kitchen countertop. And information like that, shooting you straight, even here on our own exclusive series of trailers from Bish's RV, I'm going to try to show you the good with the bad on these. Like, I love that they're extra tall. This year, our tandem axle go plays are standardized with the larger 15,000 BTU air conditioner based on your feedback. We've also increased the size of the refrigerator, and this happens to be one of those fridge doors that you can open from either direction. I don't know that it's super beneficial in this floor plan, but hey, if I was a kid sitting in the bunks and I wanted to sneak a Mountain Dew, it might make it a little bit easier. The belly's enclosed and heated. It's got a walkable roof, even bigger 30-pound propane tanks. It's carpetless, ventless, easy cleaning, very kid and pet friendly, but it's also got a couple potential hitches in its giddy up. I want to show the good with the bad and help you decide if this might be your second camper the first time around. So if you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. But if that Murphy bed concept, if that jelly ain't your jam, you need a little bit more space than that. That's where the 26BH Go Play comes in. The cool thing about this is, again, this is a very popular floor plan. Probably statistically more copies of this style of floor plan out there from anybody else. So, I mean, Jayco, Cherokee, Wildwood, Catalina, Delaterra, anybody and everybody, especially in the world of stick and tin campers, has a version of something like this. Grand Design Transcends 274 is a little bit of a twist, but still basically the same kind of concept. So I'm going to show you this one, but no, if you like that style of floor plan, but you want something a little different, man, there's like 10 other versions of this out there that you could take a look at. 2 years running now, I'm naming this what I think is the best first-timer starter camper out there on the market today. That's a pretty bold statement. Let's see how she stacks up. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV here with some updates on the 26BH Go Play. And if I was going to get just a simple, straightforward, basic family camper for my family today, no joke, this is the one I would go with here. I'm not going to call it perfect or flawless, but I personally feel this is the best executed version of this floor plan I've ever seen. And thanks to your input, I think it's gotten a little better. But I want you to keep that input coming because I think we could make it a little bit better still. So this thing is just under 30-foot tip to tail. It barely weighs 4,900 pounds empty. It's less than, I think, 6,000 pounds fully loaded. So yeah, you know, you don't even need a real heavy-duty, even kind of half-ton to haul one of these things around. Now, technically, those capacities might be within the specs of, say, like a tow package Ford Ranger. I don't recommend a mid-size pickup. I still would recommend a full-size pickup for something like this, just due to the full body size of it and shove a little vehicle around. But we have really good patio awning coverage on this. We are carpetless and ventless, very pet friendly and easy cleaning in the flooring. We're taller inside also, and that means, you know, more headroom, not just for walking around, but it allows a person like me who's a little over 6 foot to stand in the shower. It makes more room for the bunks. It means taller cabinets. But one of the other things that's really good on this is not just the campsite window coverage and like the impressive balance of storage and sleeping capacity that you have in a simple, easy, no slide camper. It's a full-on privacy wall for the front bedroom. Most, not all, but most builders of this thing, to make the RV look and feel bigger so it doesn't feel so small and cramped inside, they will just have the open air or maybe a curtain if you're lucky at the end of the bed. This one actually has a full-on wall with a sliding door, and I like how they dressed it up with a mirror because when you're in the living room, the mirror gives you the perception of more depth and more space and helps kind of compensate for the fact that it does have an enclosed wall. Overall, I am pretty darn happy with the thing. And I've got a couple points of critique and concern to go through. I'd like to hear from you as we go. Also, where you think this one shines and maybe where it falls a little short. And just to kind of drive the point home that if you like that last one, but you want a little bit different flavor of it, here's a look at the Jayco version. It's actually the Jayco version of it that I've spent the majority of my adult life camping in. Obviously not this. That's a no-slide camper, but it's a Jayco. It made for a nice backdrop. It's the best I got. Everybody, Josh the RV Nerd with Bish's RV here with kind of the reintroduction of the tandem axle J-Flight SLX series. Last year, SLX didn't vanish, but they became single axles only, and Jayco looked and realized there's a segment, like there's some people who just want to take their family basic camping, who don't want fancy glamping, that they weren't really taking care of anymore. So they've picked a couple of these models that are coming out, simple, basic, straightforward, but also lighter weight on and less cost, which is fantastic. And what's funny is I've been around for a while, and what they didn't do here is they didn't just take their existing RV and strip stuff out. They basically reintroduced the J-Flight SLX that they were building years ago, and for some reason got away from it. Like, it's kind of funny. You ever do this in your own personal life where something works so good you stop doing it? Well, that's kind of what they did here, and they realized that they had to do something. This really speaks to me because I'm just a basic no frills kind of family camping man myself. It's just three of us, me, my wife, my daughter, and we're good with that. And this takes care of us, a layout like this, so well. People ask me all the time, Josh, what do you camp in? Basically, this is the kind of camper that I've used for so many years that's taking care of my family well. So what's awesome here, though, is like they still have that sharp-looking decor. They're still extra tall inside, which I really appreciate in the shower. Still centralized air, plywood, you know, decking everywhere that you expect out of a Jayco. They didn't skimp on the structure. They didn't build it cheaper. It's just they didn't add fluff stuff that, frankly, I don't know that I really need. Now, there's going to be some people like, yeah, but it doesn't have the standard solar like the other J-Flights. It doesn't have the fiberglass option like the other J-Flights or the heated belly. Sure, it doesn't have those things. They still offer that. If you, this doesn't replace, at least not right now, the 264 J-Flight that you probably know and love. This is just a little brother to it. So they're giving you kind of an A and B option. I'm going to try to point more of that out as we go here today. And if you like how we share the good with the bad and give you those extra insights, hit that subscribe button. Let's get started. And although it's not a new floor plan by any means, I finally had a chance recently to go through Grand Design Imagine 21 BHE, which is the only no-slide member of their tandem axle Imagine family of floor plans. And what kind of struck me on this, if you look through most of this list, especially in the bunkhouses, many of them are very simple, basic, entry level. Let's just say entry level. They are not flashy, fancy, and over the top. And it's not that this Imagine is necessarily like, wow, that's dressed to the nines, but it does bring like a higher average trim package to an RV segment that often is just very looked at as like just absolute bare bones basic kind of stuff. It's nice to have another alternative in there. You know, I think this trailer is unique within the Imagine RV lineup in that it's simple and easy towing with tandem axles and it's lightweight, but it also is simple and easy camping with no slides and less worries. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at Grand Design once again. Again, getting some footage of a model I don't think I've had on the channel before, the 21 BHE. It's kind of similar to a few other layouts I've seen out there where it's a rear corner double over double bunk, campsite dinette, front Murphy bed, but no slide, kind of easy breezy, beautiful camping girl. What's nice about something like this, again, the simplicity, the ease, the little more peace of mind of having no slide. There are what I call slide skeptics, but I don't mean that in a derogatory fashion. There's some folks who are just like, listen, I've either had bad experiences with or I've heard bad things about slide outs. I don't want one. Well, sometimes it can be hard to find something like that, and this is a nice example of one without. It's one of the, I think, the only tandem axle member of the Imagine family with no slide, so there's something to be said for that there. It's a very proven, very time-tested layout, and I think that they have a very nice execution of theirs. Like, they maintain their really good extended season weather package on this. They still have up top 165-watt roof solar package, which will be a very good battery tender. It's a very glorified battery tender. Not going to be the be-all, end-all boondock warrior, but not every RV is kind of built for that purpose, you know. They have added some inverter prep, and actually something I think is kind of cool is these now have anti-lock brake systems on them, an ABS system, factory standard, now on every Grand Design tandem axle Imagine trailer. Previously, that was found only in Reflection, Momentum, things like that, Solitude, you know. So that is a huge towing safety feature where, God forbid, you have to stab the brakes in a panic brake scenario. You will maintain vastly better control of your RV with that ABS system, and I've personally test-driven one. They work, and they work very well. We are very pet-friendly, very kid-friendly with an easy, clean floor and a bunch of other really good features. It's also got a couple things that you might not like. And I'm going to try to do my best to show you both sides of that equation. And then you decide if it's the right one for you or not. And if you appreciate that fair approach, hit that subscribe button and let's get started.
Well, what's cool is our friends Freedom Express kind of give us something in between. If you don't need the over-the-top, all the features, but you want more than just entry level, take a look at the 22 SE Freedom Express. One of the other things that I really like about this, it's taller inside and has that longer 80-inch bed. For bigger people, Freedom Express is a really interesting thing. They're a lighter weight brand that works for American-sized folks more often than not.
But what if I don't want to slide out? Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd down here in northern Indiana, actually at Coachman's facilities today. They were kind enough to set me up with a copy of this new floor plan over here, the 22 SE. This is a update, improvement, and revamp of a floor plan that they've been kind of working on over the years, and I really do think they're really starting to get it dialed in here. There's a couple extra little things I'd like to see maybe done here, but what they've done is they've given us like almost all the big Freedom Express features wrapped up into a 4,300 pound easily towable small lightweight family camper. We've got a true queen bed, which can, at your discretion, Murphy out of the way to give you the space of a slide out without actually needing a slide, which keeps the weight down, which keeps the cost down, which reduces your maintenance upkeep and potential for leak points, being real about it. They still have an extra tall ceiling where carpetless and ventless flooring that is just easy cleaning and pet friendly. Still have an enclosed heated underbelly, which is a nice find. The taller ceiling is going to allow for a little bit more room for each of the bunks, and there's just, you can tell the people that design these actually go camping because there's a bunch of little details, like the window coverings they use in the bunk area snap on, so they're not sticking out, so kids rolling over and thrashing around at night don't tend to rip them off with their legs or anything like that. Just smart content little details here. Overall, I'm pretty darn happy with what I see. You've got the double Asdel on this thing, still a power tongue jack making life easy. It does have a walkable roof, but it doesn't have any kind of factory ladder access. And those are the kind of little things, like a little twist here and there, I think would really take this one over the top. But overall, I think it is a very good, very strong entry. I'd be kind of curious to know what you think about a few things, like the fact that they did not include a camp kitchen on this one, because the number one question I get on camp kitchens is, can I get it without a camp kitchen? But I'm kind of curious to know, what do you think about this? So as we go with this new floor plan, I'll share the good, bad, ugly, and in between, and I would ask you to leave comments doing the same. We'll meet in the middle, and if you appreciate what we're doing for you, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and let's get going.
There's another model, there's a whole other series of RVs out here that I don't think necessarily gets the fanfare it deserves, but I do enjoy them anytime I bump into them when I'm traveling around our different Bish's RV locations, and that's Ibex. Their 19 MBH is a hard thing to find. It is a tandem axle, narrow body travel trailer with no slides and bunks. That is a very uncommon series of things to put together, and it can be an absolutely awesome fit for something like a tow package pickup for a family who just, hey, maybe it's just not in the budget for us to go get an $80,000 Gravedigger Bigfoot monster truck just to buy an RV to go camping. We need to get by with the Ford freaking Ranger. This is one that can thread that needle.
Well, folks, you asked and they delivered. Not only is Ibex giving us an RV with a pizza oven, but they're also building one with a mother-in-law suite. Everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at Ibex's facility today. They were kind enough to pull a bunch of these in so we could get a whole bunch of different tours of these things. So if you like the footage that you see today, click the little like button on the video, tell them thanks Ibex or something like that. But in the meantime, this is the 19 MBH, and this is a really smart floor plan with a lot of kind of really hard features to find in this combination. So it's narrow body, it's lightweight, but it's tandem axle. Most of the time when you get narrow body, you don't get tandem axles. And this is a smart, easy, simple, no slide floor plan. And frankly, I think this model might work for folks who aren't looking for a family camper. Because yeah, it's a bunkhouse, as the MBH, the Murphy bunkhouse model designator kind of indicates. But at the same time, it doesn't like really go all in on an outside camp kitchen like a lot of models do. So it doesn't have this big bulky fixture under the mattress, under the bunks. So it could be an awesome cargo space. And I'm a folding e-bike owner. You could probably fit 2 folding e-bikes in there. Naturally, I didn't bring mine with me, so I couldn't check and verify that today. But I've done it on smaller campers, and I feel like this one would work too. Now, it is narrow body, but it's not the narrowest body out there. It's 7'4" wide, because that's basically how wide the axle stance is, so that everything kind of lines up. And speaking of that, this is riding in what they call their beast mode suspension, that Kurt independent trailing arm suspension package. If you want to go down the highways, it's going to be one of the best handling things out there. If you want to get off the highways and do some off-pavement camping, it's something that's going to be really well suited for that too, especially with the newly expanded solar and bigger inverter that come with these factory standard. But you may have noticed the common thread here. Thread or trend, and I come up with tread. Okay, yep. The common thread here, ladies and gentlemen, is that this list has so far been focused very much on towable RVs. Now, as the resident big truck expert driving the Ford Maverick over here with 4,000 big pounds of tow capacity, I can tell you, not everyone's necessarily interested in always having something to tow. What if you just have a seasonal site, or you don't want to get the permits to build a cabin, you just want to get something to park there and you go visit? The final one I got for you today is a really crazy kind of new thing that I thought was actually very fun and interesting, and I think you're either gonna really like it or you're gonna go, nope.
Every now and then you see something a little different, a little fun, and I think the message with this one is that home is where you park it. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV with something fun and different for you here today. A new member of the Timberwolf series from Cherokee, and some people are going to look at it and say, oh, they're building tiny homes now. They're not. They're literally not. This is not a tiny home. It is a fully self-contained travel trailer. It's just in a very different arrangement from what we've ever seen, and it has like all the things you might have in a house packed into a really small, fun little space. But what's cool about this, because it is fully self-contained, it's something, if you want to like take it out by a lake, use it sort of like a cabin. You don't necessarily have to have like on-site hookups in that. It is a travel trailer that you can use in travel trailer ways. Now, certainly you could bring it to a park and utilize it, and there's a lot of like household style appliances. Like it has an actual combo washer dryer. It has a dishwasher built in the sucker, big refrigerator. It's something that would work very well if you park it around. But like if you notice the kind of sort of off-road tires, if you want to take it somewhere where, you know, maybe you're going a little bit off the beaten path and you don't want to, you know, scrape up the sidewall of a tire, it's equipped for things like that too. All the features this has in this is really incredible, but it's no slides, it's no carpet or vents in the floor. It's simple and easy to clean. You've got like double loft sleepers. One's going to be like your main, it could be a queen bed, king bed, you could do twin beds, you could do whatever you want with it, but it's also got that, I would say forward, but actually rear mini loft that could be an attic, it could be storage, you could decorate it, it could be additional sleeping. There's all kinds of different ways that you can use this one right here. Now currently, this is in sort of the development phase that I got a hold of the video on this. There's no sort of like real solar on it right now. So one of the things I would kind of ask you folks, as we go through this video, as you digest this, as you watch this, do you think it should have no solar? It should be more of something that is kind of geared toward park use? Is it something that should have some kind of prep, maybe a basic battery tender? Should there be a big available package? And what kind of things make sense to you there? Those are all the things that, you know, I'd love to get some feedback for you on. But in the meantime, let's hop inside there, because this is a fun time. And once again, I get it that several of these things have looked eerily similar. There's just only so many ways to make things make sense with no slides in a finite amount of space. But what's also kind of cool is because this segment of the industry is popular enough, it means that you get to be a little bit choosy about how it looks, how it's featured, or even just how it interacts with your existing tow vehicle. Again, maybe you don't always have to swap things out. That can be, a lot of times people are looking for no slide RVs because that's what fits their vehicle, you know. If you found this list beneficial, useful today, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to our video, and I'll get cracking on the next one, basically, ladies and gentlemen. So until then, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.